Yo, what's up YouTube? My name is Shisha Zed. I'm back in here with another video for you. Peace, positivity, self-awareness, and motivation, man. You know what's up. Guys, do me a favor because today's story is going to be insane, right? Do me a favor, hit that like button, show the channel some love. Good to be back. The topic for today comes from a subscriber who sent me this via Instagram. As always, you're welcome to add me on Instagram, Shisha Zed. So without any further delay, let's get into it. So the message I got was a guy who was telling me about a recent experience he had with a certain woman he was dating. So when he met this chick, they hit it off, right? He was into her, she was into him. So much so that he decided to pursue an exclusive relationship. Oh no, right? With the chick. For all you guys out there who aren't really about that like commitment life, I understand. And for some of you guys who are open to that, I understand too, man. And for you guys who are learning game, improving yourself and not really focused on women, I understand. But hey, we can all learn from these experiences. It's better to learn from somebody else's experience. That's a smart way to learn, right? Than make the same mistakes yourself. So moving on, he meets this chick, they hit it off, they're doing good, right? Doing really good. But there's a problem. She has male friends. And in particular, there was one male friend that just rubbed the dude the wrong way, man. He told me from the first time that he found out about this guy and the way that she talked about him, something was off. Something just wasn't quite right. So what did he do? He decided to approach her about the situation. Because as they got closer and as time went on, he found out that they talked often, right? This other guy and his woman talked consistently. Wasn't all the time, but it was consistent enough that he felt uncomfortable with how often they were talking. But when he approached her about the situation, she would gaslight him, right? She would deny it. She would make him look crazy. She would say things like, I don't like how you're so obsessed with Tyrone, right? We're going to call him Tyrone, right? Just for the sake of not putting the guy's name out there. I don't like how you're so obsessed with Tyrone. I told you there's nothing going on between me and Tyrone. You need to let it go. In fact, she told him, hey, I have friends and you're not going to control that part of my life. I'm going to talk to whoever I want to. We've been through this so many times. What does that sound like to you guys? That sounds like a guy who did not make sure that he made it clear at the beginning of the relationship that having male friends was unacceptable. But more on that later. And so time goes on, it comes up again, and he decides to address it again until she's finally frustrated and says, listen, I don't want to hear about this guy one more time. You're projecting. You're really insecure, right? She starts hitting him with you're insecure. You're so obsessed with Tyrone. He's just a friend. What's wrong with you? And so he tells me that eventually he thinks, you know what? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe there really isn't anything going on. I just need to be easy. So one day after he said this, he said after laying down some pipe, he went downstairs to turn on the television and noticed her iPad was hooked on next to her TV. And so he decides to go looking through her iPad, right? He decides to go check to see what's up with that. Why? Because he knew that something was off. He knew something wasn't right. And guys, you know how I feel about sneaking and playing detective and looking through women's phones. You know, I don't support that. And this isn't about the right thing to do, right? This is about you looking like a clown and searching for signs that she's cheating on you, right? You look dumb. But I'm not going to get into that right now. We're going to talk about that later. He checks the iPad and he looks at it. And this is what he finds. I'm going to actually read the message for you here because I was actually able to get this for you. Exclusive content, right? It's her talking to Tyrone. And this is her friend who she said there was nothing going on between them. This is her friend who she told him that he was tripping for asking so many questions. The first message is from her to Tyrone, and it says, "So I'm looking into taking another Japanese rope tie class. Shibari." Shibari is the name of, I guess, the type of rope tie class, the Japanese rope tie class that she wants to take. The message goes on to say, "We might have talked about this before. I actually joined the ATL subgroup and learning my way around. Along with the theory and demonstration is the practical application, and honestly, I thought of you." All right, she thought of him when it came to the practical application of the Japanese rope tying class. And then she asked him, "Would you be open to modeling for me sometime so I can practice?" Question mark. Tyrone responded and said, "I actually would love to, but I gotta respect my current situation." She responds and says, "Understood. I respect that. Well, if things change." And he responded and said, "I will definitely let you know." And so when he saw that text message thread between his girl and the man that she told him not to worry about, he was devastated. How could this happen to him? But he was also relieved. Why? Because his intuition told him that something was up. So real quick, guys, she talked about like this Japanese rope tying class. I didn't really know much about it, so I decided to look it up, right? First, I went to go look up Shibari, and I might be pronouncing that wrong, but it's whatever. I looked up, what is Shibari? Simply put, Shibari is the act of tying up a person for aesthetic purposes, maybe in a pretty or intricate pattern, typically by using some form of rope. And while Shibari is most often used as a means of sexual pleasure, historically it's been used as a form of meditation, relaxation, and trust building practice between two partners. So I still wasn't sure, man. I still wasn't sure what this whole Shibari thing was about. Mind you, this is a woman who's in a relationship, and she wanted to do this with a man outside of her relationship who her main situation was tripping over, right? So I said, let me go check out what Shibari is. So I just went to Google Images and just typed in Shibari just to get a better experience. And this is what I found out. Boom, right there. Take a look at that picture, right? Yup. Crazy stuff. Guys, this isn't just like some regular stuff, you know what I mean? This is some I'm going to be careful because I don't want this to affect my channel at all. I'm not going to show the other photos that I saw, but these photos get kind of crazy. Here's the next one. You know what I mean? This is what she wanted with the man who she told him not to worry about, right? As she gaslighted him, there's another picture. This was what she wanted, right? She wanted him to perform that on her, probably most likely. She wanted to tie him up. And eventually she wanted him to bust those cheeks, right? That's what all this would have led to. Now, as expected, he cut off ties with that situation after he confirmed his suspicions. But there are a few things I want to address, man. There's a few things I want to address. And really, I've said this first thing in my last video that I did. Guys, you finish how you start with any woman. You finish how you start. If you start off in a weak position with a woman, then you will finish off weak. The situation with her having male friends is something that he should have addressed before he got into a relationship with that chick. If you don't do that at the start, right? If you don't establish what your expectations are, then a woman will always take advantage of that. This is to do with everything. This is to do with everything that you expect. It has to be established in the beginning, especially things like male friends. Because already the way she was talking when he confronted her, saying things like, "Oh, you're not going to tell me how to control that part of my life." Easily, right then and there, would have been the right moment to walk away. Right? Because if you don't establish what you expect in the beginning, now you're going to do negotiating throughout the middle. And if you're in a situation right now where you're kind of going through this and going back and forth with a chick, just walk away, bro. It's too much talking. It's too much back and forth. You're not going to change her with your words. I promise you that. You show her that you can walk away from her, then she'll listen, right? Put her on ice. Don't look around and check iPads and check phones and try to find some evidence, because that's some clown stuff, man. Now you look dumb. You look like you're more invested in the situation than she is. If you're not getting the type of treatment that you expect, especially if you've made it clear at the beginning of the relationship and a woman decides to disrespect that or go against your agreement, walk away. You don't need evidence, right? If she's already crossing that line that you're uncomfortable with, walk away. But a lot of guys don't want to walk away. They're too in love, right? You're too emotionally attached. That's the problem. You've let yourself go. You've fallen into love. And so you're looking for proof when you already know what's up. You knew. You didn't have to find out about the Japanese rope tying thing. The guy knew. And guys, just to clear up about the checking a woman's phone, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have access to it. If you're dating someone exclusively and they don't give you access to those type of things like their private accounts, if they're hesitant, I think that's a problem. But you snooping around and trying to play detective, you're going to find something, someplace that you're not going to like. If you want to live a stressful life, play that detective role, right? Because you're going to check group messages. She'll say one thing that you disagreed with. Women are going to mess up. But instead of looking for that mess up, and it might just be something that she says that you disagree with. It may not be her actually cheating on you, like the chick that we just saw who cheated on her man and was into some dark fantasies. It may not be that extreme, but checking a woman's phone, looking through it, that's too much energy focused in a woman. Let it come to light on its own. It will. If she is hiding something from you, it will come to light. Trust and believe. But when you're checking phones and going through a woman's trash and, looking at who she's messaging on Instagram, you look dumb. You look like you're way more invested in it than she is, right? She needs to be thinking about doing that with you. You need to keep level-headed. You need to keep calm and not play detective with these women. You care too much. You care way too much. If it reveals itself to you and that problem is right in front of you, deal with it. But overall, I want to end this video with making one thing clear. You finish how you start. If you start in a position of strength and power, then you will finish in strength and power. What do I mean? If you make it very obvious what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate in a relationship with the woman, then once she breaks that, there's only one decision for you to make, and that's to walk away. Why? Because she's broken that agreement and is going against what you require of her. In this situation, starting off strong would have been saying, hey, I know you got male friends. Listen, and guys, I've done this. I've said this. I said, if me and you were to get into a relationship, you need to cut off all your male friends. I've said this before. And I've had women look at me and say, that would never happen. I'm like, okay, cool. And if it never does, we will never be exclusive, right? And I'll be honest, I've also had a situation. If you guys look back at my RP story, right? How I became RP. The situation is kind of similar, but not exactly. But it's in my videos. Go check it out if you want to go watch that. But it was kind of the same thing, man. The girl had this guy who she was talking to, who was her friend, right? And I never actually got into a relationship with her, but I thought that there was something going on there. I didn't understand why they talked all the time. I was never comfortable. I've never been comfortable with the friends thing. Never been. So I told her about it. I said, hey, you're going to need to cut off your male friends. It was before I knew anything about female nature, red pill, whatever. I was always straight up with that. And she said, no, I'm not going to. Right. But she wanted an exclusive relationship with me. And when I wouldn't give that to her, one day I checked her phone. And guys, this is before I have the rules that I have now, right? Before understanding how to move as a man, before embracing my alpha mentality, before all that. I checked her phone like a beta male simp, right? And I saw right in front of my eyes that the guy who was her best friend, right, her best male friend, sent her a picture of his joystick. And when I saw that, what did I do? I had a lot of questions. I ended up going online and like searching, why do women, I don't know, something, why do women cheat? Something like that. AMS popped up, and now here I am. That's how that happened. That's the short version of the other video that you can go check out if you want. Bottom line is this: how you start is how you finish. You have to start strong. Always. And a lot of you guys are cool doing this with the 5s. Or the girls who you view as 6s, right? She's not that fine. She's okay. And so you tell her, I'm not going to accept that. But you get like a 7, right, to you. Or an 8. Or a 9. God forbid, a 10. All your qualifications, all your expectations, your rules, all that no male friend stuff goes all out the window. Why? Because you're in love. The finer a woman is for most men, the harder it is for them to maintain control. But you got to get to the point, bro, that no matter how bad she is, no matter how big that booty is, I don't care. No matter how big those lips are, no matter how good it is when you're busting those cheeks, it doesn't matter. You don't move or turn on your word, your expectations, right? Because when she's fine, man, now you want to make qualifications. Why? Why? Because she's pretty? Doesn't matter. Right? There's pretty girls all over the place. Keep that abundance mindset. Start strong and finish strong. With a lot of these women, he would have saved himself a lot of this headache because he would have told her, hey, you can't have male friends. She would have said no. They would have parted ways, and he would have avoided this whole situation. Some of you said, yeah, but he wouldn't have gotten to hit it. Maybe. But was it worth it, right? But is it worth it for that type of stress? Just to bust the cheeks one time? Is it really worth it? Life is more than women. Life is more than what's in between a woman's legs. An alpha, a man who's embraced his alpha mentality, understands that, right? A beta puts women on a pedestal. A beta puts himself through hell because he thinks, oh, I'll do anything it takes to hit. Start strong, finish strong. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit that like button if you didn't hit it earlier. My name is Shisha Zed. Until next time, man, I'm out. Peace.
I'm a walking Liberty Bell. Freedom ring through my stride. Freedom to be inside and be a slave to my pride. And right away it is scream. Man, this love's so serene. I should probably shake it up just a little bit.